morning, friends. Welcome to Coffee Talk for dance teachers and studio owners. We are brought to you by the International Dance Entrepreneurs Association, also known as I.D.E.A. We are a group of dance studio owners who are passionate about growing our businesses, working with children that we know that we can inspire for a lifetime. And we also are big on supporting each other within our organization. Check it out at ideadance.org. I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Laura Giacomelli Hankowski. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Ree. How are you today?
I am good. I was surprised. We have a holiday today on Friday. We're having a company meeting, and everybody started to tell me we had Monday off. I did not realize that.
You're lucky. I have a mean boss. We're working today. I was like, it's competition season. We're gonna be open.
How's life?
Life is good. Life is good. I'm coming off a very busy weekend with the dance studio. Like I said, it's competition season. So I'm sure like the rest of the studio owners and teachers who are listening, who are company, choreographers, rehearsals are gearing up. So we had 3 extra hours of rehearsals on Saturdays now every single week. So they all work. Everyone's doing awesome. So everyone's looks very prepared, which I'm excited about. And then we ran one of our Saturday camps on Saturday. It's our once a month like parent night out. And we had 23 little ones coming in an Encanto themed camp. And it was a blast. We had so much fun. We were limboing and painting and dancing. And the moms, as they were leaving with all their stuff, their balloons, the moms were like, "Do you have the date for next month?" It's like, I'm like, that is a wonderful compliment. Thank you. And I don't yet, but I will by Monday.
I love it that you're so enthusiastic about it. But I'm going to put you on the spot real fast right away. For those who are watching, tell us some of the themes that you do in these monthly camps. Give
Okay.
everybody a 1-minute seminar. Go for
Yeah,
it.
so I use this year my January and February to kind of give them a taste of my theme for summer. So January was a Frozen princess theme, and we have a princess summer camp coming up. So it was kind of like a way to give them a little taste of what camp would be like. And then February, like I said, was Encanto, and we have again camps in the summer that are Encanto Fiesta themed. Next month, I'm already going to do, it's not an Easter theme, but it's kind of a little bit of a homage to like Easter. So we're doing a hippity hop camp.
Very cool.
So
Very
it's all hip
cool.
hop themed. So for any of the little ones who are interested in taking hip hop in the summer and the fall, is like a taste of that. We've also done like unicorns and rainbows. We've done, oh, what else? I try to do a lot of like holiday themed ones. So it's like a winter wonderland. April showers bring May flowers. So like we'll do like a flower themed one. And they'll do like hula hoop contests during that, like all like outdoor stuff. So yeah, they
Very
bring in a
cool.
decent amount. Yeah, they bring in great extra revenue for the dance studio each month. So that's kind of like if I want to put in like that's kind of funding I need new Marley. So I'm like, that's gonna be we're gonna get it for new Marley. So that's kind of how I think.
Very cool, very smart. I'm always proud of how entrepreneurial you are.
Thank you.
Smart businesswoman, smart mom, all those characteristics. You
Thank you. I
have
appreciate
them, my
that.
friend.
Thank you.
I'd love to stop here and ask our viewers to check in with us. Where you from?
Oh, we have Judy here and June. Hi, ladies. Welcome. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, Miss Judy and June. Let me see.
Oh, I have a question from Jackie. Is that okay, Ree, if I answer that? She's asking, how much do you charge for your monthly camps?
Sure. Welcome to our seminar.
That's so funny.
Yes, feel free.
Yeah, so my camps are 2.5 hours. I have planned them from 4 to 6:30 on Saturdays, so they can actually be like a parent night out, but I don't have to serve dinner for the kids. I just do a snack. It's usually like goldfish or something like that. I charge 50 for mine. I know that's a little bit more on the expensive end, but I kind of go off of what babysitters are in my area, and they're usually charging around 20 an hour, and we do crafts and entertainment the whole time. So 2.5 hours, and I charge 50 for mine. I think in my area, it's usually between like 40 and 50, I want to say, for something like that. Yeah.
Okay, and I'll ask a final question on that. What's the average attendance in one of these events?
So I usually don't like to go above 25, but Frozen Camp, I had parents begging me to be in it, and I stopped at 27. Because it's between the ages of 3 to 7. I'm sorry, 3 to 9. So it's a very wide age range. So siblings can both attend together. But usually I cap it at 25. And Kanto Camp was 23. And I feel like that was pretty good, especially because it's a holiday weekend and I had a lot of people traveling. So I was I had 24. So I was really happy with 24.
Very cool. Good for you.
Thank you.
Hello, Gainesville, Florida. We also have Louis Pabone. Good morning. Oh, look, he's asking me to give him a call when I get a chance.
Do you want me to write that in my notes for you?
Okay, Louis, you got it. I'll give you a call as soon as I get done with this broadcast. That is awesome. Welcome, Louis, from Connecticut, Texas. Welcome.
Wow.
And good morning to you. Let's
Oklahoma.
See.
Wow.
Retired Florida, but still, here we go. Thank you so much, Florida. Laurie Harding from Florida.
Also Florida today.
This is a good Florida day. Okay, so I am going to, hey, by the way, if you have any questions as we're moving along, feel free to put them in the comments. And I'm excited to share with you our special guest. Her name is Vickie Wallace. She is an I.D.E.A member, and I have gotten to know her over the last year or so. I consider her a tremendous businesswoman who knows what she wants, has it together, currently expanded her studio to 24,000 square feet. You heard that right. It is a success with about 950 students at this point. I'm so excited to bring her to you. However, in the meantime, while we're setting up, here is a commercial for the Dance Life Teacher Conference and Soul. And here we are back with Vickie. I also want to say hello to Monica from Ottawa, Canada. Welcome, Monica. Welcome, Vickie. Tell a little bit about yourself to everybody who's viewing today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Yes, I am a studio owner. We are just finishing our 20th year, now going into our 21st year. Many growing pains along the way, but with the help of lots of people, we kind of work them out. I work very closely with my two daughters, who are two of my main people within the business. That's probably my pride and joy, is being able to see them every day. I love working with them, and it's just awesome.
Very cool. You have two children, am I right?
Yep.
And I know that we've talked earlier, and you said you had a workaholic husband. And what are his thoughts about your success?
Oh, he's very proud. He really is. He works as much as I do. So, we kind of see each other just a little bit at night, and then we're both off every day, all day. So,
So, Vickie, tell everybody a little bit about your start point 20 years
Mhm.
ago. I'd be curious to hear how
well,
it began, because I know you've worked your butt off to get where you are. And I like to hear the beginning story if we could.
well, in the beginning, I actually worked for a couple of other studios that were a couple towns apart. And I, you know, taught a lot of tumbling and competition teams. And I just didn't fall into their line of thinking with their values and how they treated families and the kids, and I just wanted so much more, and it was not. My daughters both took it both places, and it wasn't a good experience for them, and they were always discouraged, and it just wasn't what I felt dance should be for kids. So they did not want to go back anymore, and I was fine with being done, and actually left thinking I was done. This is it. But then,
Ah,
of course, what the only thing that got me back in is some of the families reached out to me that I used to teach and wanted me to do. I did a lot of tumbling, so a lot of private lessons with them. So I threw mats out in my backyard, and that's how I got started. I was teaching private lessons, started small classes, and it just grew from there.
Wow. And how old were your daughters when you opened up your studio?
One was a junior in high school, and one was a freshman in high school. Well, one was a freshman in college, and one was a freshman in high school.
Okay. So a little more independent, but still, like, that's still hard years because they need you in high school and college. It's not like, they're independent in a way you're not holding their hands, getting them up for school in the morning, but the emotional and still needing your time, that's still
Right.
a big thing?
Yes, my youngest daughter cheered in high school, so I did miss lots of games, lots of competitions that she had going on, but she understood, and now that she's a mom and working here, she understands even more.
Right, right. Now, Vickie, when was the moment when you got so large from running those classes in your backyard? When did you make that transition into your first actual space, physical space?
Well, it actually, we did it over the summer, and then it was just too much. So I would load my husband's truck up with mats, and we went to a park where I could spread out a little more. And I ran classes in a park, and the kids loved it because at the end of the class, they'd get a popsicle because it was so hot. And that was at the end of their class. And I did that until fall came, and I couldn't do it outside anymore. And then from there, we moved to a school, the local school, and I used their auditorium, which was great space, but I would have to pack my mats there every day. And so we did that for a couple years. And then from there, we needed a place where we could keep our mats and not have to take them 3, 4 nights a week up and down stairs. And so we rented a place in a church. And after running it there for, I think we were there probably 3 years. And I felt bad because they charged me $100 a month. And I was like, so I got to the point where I was like, I need to pay you more because that's all
Oh
they
my God.
know.
People pay that in coffee right now. $100 a month. Oh my God.
And they had a little attic that we kind of cleaned. It was the worst place ever, but we cleaned the attic out, and my daughter started teaching dance up in the attic. And we just had one little mirror that we carried up there. We had fans blowing. And so, and then from there, we moved to another space that was just an auditorium. Moved to another space, which was 4,000 square foot. And it was a small little corner place. And we were able to put a spring floor and one dance room. And, you know, tumbling takes up a lot more space than
Right.
dance.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
yeah. So I had like a 2,000 square foot spring floor and then 1,200 square foot dance room. And we were there a few years and literally went from 4,000 square foot and jumped to 11,000 square foot in one jump. And it was a little scary, but
In the
honestly,
same location, did you just do a build out for your attach, or did you completely move again?
we moved down the street to a strip mall.
Okay. Okay.
And then, so we were set up in the strip mall. We had 4 dance rooms and then a big tumbling area. And within a few years, I don't know how, but we were outgrowing that. We had wait list. We had, you know,
What would you say the numbers were when you felt like you were outgrowing?
we were at like 350. And we thought that was a lot, which it is.
Yeah.
But we had a wait list. And so we did, after about 5 years, I think, we finally decided to separate. And we opened up in the same strip mall, the 9,000 square foot tumbling studio. And then the 11,000 became all dance. We had like 6 dance rooms and a small tumbling area there as well. And, you know, for a while, I mean, it was great. We were growing, but I will say that initial jump, I went from when we were packed with the wait list, being very profitable, to spreading it out to where, okay, now we really have to grow.
Right.
And
now you have that space, and we all know, being in this industry, you have to fill it to start
Right.
making profit. It's that space doesn't pay for itself. Then that was a big jump for you. It's more than double.
that was huge. Yeah. And so, I mean, that's where we've been up until like 3.5 years ago. I decided to buy our own building. And
I was wondering if the pictures that you showed, if that's a strip that you own or if that's what you rent.
well, originally I had set out to own my own building. So we found something actually just right next door.
Here, I'm
And
going to add something to the stream for everybody to see. But wait, I wanted to stop for 1 sec, continue this conversation, but I want to say hello to somebody. This is Marcia Aller. She's from Michigan, a former president of Dance Masters of America, longtime friend of mine. And a whole bunch of people are saying hello to you, Marcia. And I just want you to know how much you're appreciated, my friend.
Oh, that's awesome.
How cool is that?
Mhm.
I'm going to share something with everybody. There's the studio space.
Wow.
and that is in a strip mall. We ended up not buying. I mean, we were within probably 2 months of closing on our other building when COVID hit. And banks pulled and it
Ooh.
got, I mean, the architects were done. They were starting to, the contractor was getting ready to order stuff, and then
Right.
COVID hit. And so at that point, the owners of the strip mall came to me and said, "What can we do to keep you? We heard you were leaving. And I was like, well, the Premier Tumbling was right where it is, but the Premier Studio for Dance was way at the other end of the strip. So we would have kids take an hour dance in the winter, get their coats, hats on, have to go all the way down, have their parents take them to an hour of tumbling, and then come back to dance. And it just wasn't working. So they did. They moved all of the tenants out, and they're still in the process of revamping the whole thing. But they moved all of the tenants out at that end, put them at the other end, and built me a dance studio connected to tumbling, which
Wow. Vickie, that shows how much they wanted to keep you. Man. Like
And
that's
so
incredible.
this is 24,000 square feet of space at this point.
yes.
Wow.
Can I share some other pictures and
Yeah, absolutely.
you tell us about them? So I'm thinking this is the plan.
Yeah, that is the layout. I do
Are
have,
these all studios here?
yes,
Dance studios? So how many studios in this space?
we have 9 dance rooms and actually 7 dance rooms. 2 of them, we do have mats down in there for tumbling for our acro kids and for our tot tumbling and our little guys because they just didn't fit in the big area. We had to expand our tumbling program. So on the left where it says teal floor and purple floor, that's all of our more advanced tumbling.
You even have a pit. You even have a
Yes.
pit?
Yes, we do have
Wow.
an in-ground pit, which really benefits us.
Wow.
Beautiful lobby area.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
is this a preschool, early childhood room, Vickie?
Yes, I love Tinkerbell. She's my absolute favorite. So she is there to spread the magic and give all that pixie dust to the little babies. But this is our pre-ballet room, and that's where we have all of our 6 and unders do ballet combo classes, and we'd have a big ballet tumbling program that they'll do 30 minutes of ballet and 30 minutes of tumbling.
Wow.
Very cool. And I have a multiple group of pictures here. I'm assuming each one is an individual studio. They
Yes.
look beautiful. They look large.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually, yeah, this is one of our larger studios right here.
Beautiful flooring.
Oh, and a nice wood floor here.
Mhm.
Very cool.
You sell
So-
dancewear?
We do very little. We have some in stock, but we do put it there mostly. We do have like just ballet for the most part because of, kids will walk in the door and say, can I start ballet in 15 minutes? And if we have openings, we have to have the attire for them. So it's really helps.
Awesome.
We've really upgraded our bulletin board so that we can keep people in the know. And like we talked about, you can put it everywhere and they still have no idea.
Yeah.
Yes. What's this?
This is the lobby, which used to be the lobby to our tumbling studio. But since we have the main lobby now, we kind of just set this up as, they can still watch their kids tumble, but it's a nice place for them to come just sit and wait for their
Right.
kids, and the kids will have a snack during their breaks.
Do they come in and sit there on their laptops and their phones? Is that what most of the parents do?
Yes, which
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't know they really wanted until I put it in, and then I realized how much it is used for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might hang out, watch my child dance if I can have my laptop and get some work done.
Fun. Yeah. Especially with people working virtually right now.
Yes.
Why not be able to go sit and watch your kid take their class that you're paying for and you get, your emails done? That's perfect.
We do have a lot of families too that I notice they'll come in, and while their child's taking class, they're helping the other child with homework, sitting there doing their homework with them. And so it's nice. This is our little our tot tumbling area for all of our little 5 and unders.
Oh, how cute. I like the jungle theme. It's
Yes.
adorable.
And this picture here, it's since we have an in-ground pit and they were kind of used to that in the other part of the gym, I had to build an above ground pit. So they climb up a little ladder, then they go down the strip, and then they can jump into the pit because some of them were used to that and I couldn't take it away from them.
Right, right. Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
And this is just our lower level tumbling in our classes that do 30 minutes of ballet. This is what we call our tumble bear room. And they'll do 30 minutes of ballet and then they come over here and do some tumbling. And then some of our lower levels also tumble in here.
And Vickie, I love that you changed your combo. I feel like combo classes, the norm is like ballet tap. I love that you do ballet and tumble and like acro with them. Like that's such a neat way to link them together. I love that. It's just such a different thing to offer. And I feel like because we have an acro program and it's getting big, you know, I have at least 100 kids in it at this point. So thinking like ahead, but we start acro at age 5, but I have moms asking who are 3 and 4, can we do like, you know, a combo with that? So it's like my brain's kind of like turning. So it's amazing to see that like you offer that and it's successful because I feel like that's such a different vibe than what the norm is and what we've always been offering in like the dance world as studio owners.
Right.
Vickie, how young do they start tumbling at Premier?
2. Well, we start them at 18 months. We have mom and tot, parent and tot classes, and the parents will come in. It just really gets them used to going upside down, over barrels, you know, building their upper body. We have some that are barely walking that'll come in, but they love it.
That's awesome.
I'm thinking this is the pit.
Yeah, that's the in-ground pit. And then the purple floor is just like a foam floor, and the teal floor in the back is a sprung floor.
Yeah, it looks a little elevated from this.
Yeah.
You can see that. Yeah. Beautiful. Now, Vickie, do you have a difference? I know you use the word acro. Do you have a difference between offering acro and then tumbling? Do you have that, like, they're different classes for you? How do you differentiate that?
Yes,
Oh,
we mostly do tumbling.
Okay.
We have a huge tumbling. We have over 500 kids that just tumble, or not just tumble, but they tumble in addition to dance. We do have acro classes, and our acro classes more work on the unique tricks and the chest holds and elbow stands and, you know, the configurations of different tricks.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you see that a lot, like the chin stands, the aerials, things like that in like competition. I feel
Right.
like,
Yes.
yeah.
And this is our values wall, and we put it big. So not only the parents know, but the coaches know as they walk through what they need to be focused on throughout the journey with the kids.
Love it. I wanted to be sure to include it because I believe putting it out there on the wall,
Yeah,
rather than it being hidden on the website or a piece of literature that nobody sees, to consistently remind those that work for us, ourselves, our clientele, what we're all about. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So hang on, I have to figure out how to stop now. There we go. Vickie, I want to ask you a question. I know Laura has a bunch of them too, but here's a question. I'm watching this and I almost think to myself, I can't keep up with what I have right now. How does this woman do this? Balance personal life, normalcy with running a business this size. What advice can you offer on having made this choice? Like, do you feel overwhelmed ever, or what is it?
Oh, absolutely. I have days where I'm very overwhelmed, but I think because I grew gradually and we added things along the way, and we added the staff members along the way, the more we grew. And they, I would say the majority of my staff members have been with me for 15 years or longer.
Wow.
So they know the values, they know what the goals are, and they work really hard. So we gradually grow according to the staff we have at that time. And then as we get a little bigger, we'll pull someone in that does a bigger role, and then they can grow another area. So I feel like we've gradually done it along the way.
Mhm.
And I've always done it with the proper staff to handle what we have.
Yeah, we had a question because right now you have 29 teachers on staff and 8 admin. What is the best way? Because I feel like right now at Libra, I do a lot of word of mouth. That's how I find my teachers. It's always like a teacher knows a teacher, and it's just always worked out that way. But how do you find good staff and who you think are going to be able to keep those values, those number one teaching 101s for you, so that they carry that over into the classroom? Like, where do you find them?
Well, like I said, the majority of our staff have been with me forever. My 2 daughters have been there forever. All of my admin that I have now have been there since the beginning. Their daughters danced there, and we started out when we were small. Like, I would have one of the moms run the front desk, and I have now like 5 of them, 5 dance desk people that their daughters danced, and after their daughters graduated, they stayed on.
Mm.
And so, and we do have a lot of our coaches will recommend, like if they have worked somewhere in the past and they've come on, the newer ones, or if I have a couple of ballet instructors who come from other major ballet companies, and they'll be like, oh, I have someone that would be perfect to help, that wants a job. So we still struggle. Don't get me wrong. We struggle with finding the right people, and we have let a few people go because they just didn't fit our values. And it will always be a struggle, I'm sure, for everyone.
I feel like for me, Vickie, as a studio owner, once I find a teacher that works really well at my studio, I try to hire more from within. I'm not sure if you do that. I feel like if I have a teacher and her classes are packed on a Tuesday night, when I'm thinking about fall, I'm going up to her and saying, can you give me another night? Like, if
Right.
I need more, like, I'm not going to be like, I'm going on Indeed and I mean, yes, I will do that if need be, but my first road of action is going to my current staff and seeing who has the highest retention, who has good rapport with their students, with with the other staff
Mhm.
members, who's a good team player. Like, that's what I look for. And then I'm like, okay, what else can you give me? What other classes are you interested in teaching or adding onto the schedule? So I feel like, I know Chris was asking about how you find them. That's something that I do. I try to really hire from within, Chris. And that's something that helped me because the kids also know them. Oh, Miss Regina's going to be teaching ballet too. Oh, I really loved her lyrical class. I would love to take ballet from her, and because they have that good rapport with them, the parents feel comfortable adding on that other class because they had a great experience last year with Miss Regina. So I'm not sure if that would help Chris, but I know that there's still a struggle, like I said, with finding those good instructors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is the toughest thing, as she said, about running a dance studio. But I also want to say this to everybody out there. It should be a consistent looking for faculty, not just when we need faculty. Because oftentimes we find ourselves under pressure and maybe hiring somebody that isn't up to par, but we waited so long that this is our only option. That's
Yeah.
probably yet another show and another seminar, but it's important that all year long you're looking for people, even if it's to bring them in for an extra class to see what they're all about, to make connections with potential teachers.
Yes. Agreed. Vickie, you have 37 employees right now, which is incredible. I have 12. So 37 is like that number to me is I'm like, wow, you're like running a Target with a team of 37. Like that is incredible, like truly. So I would love to know because I as a studio owner, the first couple years, I taught everything. I was that studio owner. And then you brought on one person and then another person. Then all of a sudden you have two people who run the office and then four teachers. So now we're up to like 9 teachers and 4 admin at my studio. I know for me, I know how I communicate with my staff, but how do you go about, like, what is your management style and how do you communicate to all 37 of those employees? Because I know that you have so many parts in your business that are moving constantly and I'm sure updating and changing. So how do you go about communicating all of that with your staff?
Well, it's a challenge. We absolutely, I have 8 directors who are amazing in carrying on our vision, our goals, and our culture to everyone down the line. And I do meet with our director. We have 4 core people that have the time to put into the business. And we do meet with them every week. And I do meet with our directors. And of course, my daughters are very valuable in the whole planning part of it. We do meet every week with our directors, and our directors are very close with everyone that they are, directing over, and they keep in close contact with them. And then I have a monthly meeting with all of the staff. Right now, we're still doing it by Zoom. And honestly, now it's so convenient.
Yeah.
And it's easier for everyone to be there. But we do monthly staff meetings with the whole staff. And then, like I said, I do weekly meetings with some and monthly meetings with others. And then they also have their time where they meet with their people that they are overseeing. And then of course we have the Facebook page but
Yeah.
we are constantly trying to evolve and do the next best thing. We've had a lot of growing issues since we've moved here. And with the new move, the new year, it's like we exploded and we grew quicker than we even imagined. So all of our heads are spinning right now.
Yeah.
And we have a weekend getaway retreat with our directors, and we're just going to brainstorm. It's in a couple of weeks, and we're just going to brainstorm, where we are, where we need to be, how, all the new, apps and programs out there that, we need to use and find. And honestly, we always need to be looking for new ways to communicate and keep up with new technology. And I believe that right here with the I.D.E.A members, I love working with them and seeing what helps them move forward. I love that all of they're willing to share all of, everything they've learned, what they're using. They share their wins, their struggles, and it helps me. I've learned from the I.D.E.A members big time. And I feel like we all have become close and can share what makes the business work.
I will say I feel that I owe a lot to I.D.E.A, being an I.D.E.A member. I've been an I.D.E.A member since it started. And I agree with you. I feel like being in this industry is very unique. It is not like any other industry. So this is a very specialized field that we're in. We're dealing with people's prized possessions, their children. But then we're also in the dance industry that has certain expectations moving forward. And this is something that they could do later on. And it could become a career, but it also could be their once a week love that they love going to their dance class, and both are equally valuable. But being an I.D.E.A member, I feel like if you're not an I.D.E.A member, it's definitely something you should look into for sure, because the community, the camaraderie, being able to feel supported by other people who are in the same exact situations that you are in, and you're like you feel like your head's gonna explode, and you're like, but she handled it last week and she's okay, she survived. Like, it's just a different form of support. And like you said, it's different from the positivity in it is what I really appreciate. There's never there's never discussions of tights or no tights, or it doesn't get, it's not that. It's like, this is my issue. I would love some feedback. And it's like, we're sorry to hear that you're going through this. This is what I've done in that situation. It's just very positive, not negative. You should, it's just a totally different vibe. And if you guys are looking for that, not to like toot I.D.E.A's horn, but I'm going to look into it for sure.
It's funny. I did not plan this, but I do like the talk. I must admit, it makes me feel good. And yeah, this is the thing that I'll say to everybody out there who wonders about I.D.E.A. Then I have a question about your directors, Vickie.
Yeah.
I.D.E.A is not about giving you the secret recipe. I.D.E.A is about giving you the tools you need to create the business you want for yourself. Like, it's about making the decision. Vickie's made a decision to expand her studio, okay? There are people in I.D.E.A who said, okay, I think I'm better off running 4 days a week, maximizing my classes, raising my tuition, being more elite, and that's my success.
And having weekends off and having a 3-day weekend for the rest of your life. Right.
Okay, Vickie, so you said you had, did you say 12 directors, 8 directors?
8. Yeah.
8 directors. Give me a couple of examples of their titles. I'm just curious.
I have a competition director, a recital director, a dance director, a tumbling director, events and coordinator director. I have what I don't know. She started out like enrollment. Then she became enrollment and marketing. Then she was enrollment, marketing, HR. Now she's everything.
Umbrella.
I have a couple of those. I have a couple of those for sure.
So I don't know.
Please don't ask me for a job description.
Exactly. I couldn't tell you. She's just, I do it all, and she's amazing. At the beginning of the year, she will ask me and she started out just nonchalantly being like, what's your goal for the year? 2 years ago, I was like, really? I just want to build my daytime classes. It sits empty. It needs to be full. We need to be hopping during the day. And within 1 year, without me even knowing she was doing it, we went from 4 classes, maybe 20 to 25 students, to we have 20 classes and almost 100 students coming during the day. And by mid-year, I'm like,
wow,
how are you doing this? And she's like, well, remember when I asked you what your goal was and you said build the daytime classes? I'm doing it for you. I was like, whoa. So
that's amazing.
Yes.
She's priceless.
So people like that we have in our business that keep me from going nuts.
Well, and I think it also shows that when you have an employee like that who wants to help make the business succeed, it's a totally different camaraderie, and it's a different appreciation and respect now you have for each other, because she understands what she brings to the business will help the business, and you now see what she's doing for your business, so you see her worth and what she's capable of, and it's just like that matching up it's like I said, it's priceless. It's priceless.
It really is. Now I have to really be careful as to what I tell her my goal is for the year.
Right.
It'll happen.
You'll be up to 27,000 square feet.
I am curious about a goal. You said that you're around 950 as far as heads coming through the studio. What would you, based on the space that you have, where would you like to be? What would be a comfortable number?
I feel if we are at 1,200, That's kind of my point. It's like, I just want to get there and then just smooth out all the kinks. And then from there, just make the programs better.
Hmm.
I'm not one that I want 2,000 students or 1,800 students. I just want it to be easy for the staff to manage, but profitable at the same time.
Now, Vickie, when you say you have 950 students, that's like the actual student body. That's not the units of kids who are
Right.
taking 5, 10 classes a week.
Correct.
You're going to ask what that
have
number is?
Can you, is that okay? What
It's
are you,
we're at like 2,800 units, but I feel like that should be more. I feel like we're on the low end of student per classes.
Okay, so part of your goal is, and I'm saying this for everybody watching, is to get the current dancers or tumblers
Mhm.
to be taking more within the studio.
Yes. And we could stay right where we are number wise and just increase the amount of classes. And of course, I mentioned that to Dina, who is working with me.
Mhm.
And so she came up with a program. It's called, they're going to be on the STAR track. And you get certificates and a t-shirt and everything if you take 2 or more classes for the younger kids. And that's
I love that.
that's working.
That's awesome.
And they get recognized and they get on our Star Trek page. And, so that's where we're headed now. I really just would love to have more students taking more classes. And I'd love to have the same amount of students taking more classes, but I'd like to have the same amount of coaches teaching more classes. But I feel like some of our coaches have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And they just can work 1 or 2 nights a week. But this past 2 years, we have had 4 coaches quit their full-time jobs and come full-time with us, which I would like to do that with a few more of them.
Very cool that you can offer that, Vickie.
Well, we have the work for them. That's for sure.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
As we close out here, I want to ask you this. We meet sometimes because you do help us with the I.D.E.A seminars and coffee talks. You are running this business. I see you travel a lot with your husband. What's your secret to this not being overwhelming to you or feeling guilty because you're not working? I'm asking you for everybody listening.
Like I said, it took many years to get to this point. And I feel like our staff is at a place where they could run Premier by themselves. And honestly, that's why I reached out and I decided to start doing more with I.D.E.A and with you, Ree, because I'm ready for the next step in my life. I have built this studio. I have built it to the point where it can run by itself. I like being involved and I still do quite a bit, but I'm not needed for the everyday to-day business anymore. And I just want to do something a little bigger for me. And that's like maybe working with you and traveling is what, doing something a little bit bigger outside of the dance studio. But
Okay, Vickie, I had no idea, my friend. Here we are on live broadcast.
yeah.
No, I am so proud of you, honestly, and what you built. And I can't tell you how many people that I've talked to who have what I'll say larger studios who seem to be under a unique pressure that only comes with that kind of responsibility. But I never see that in you. I don't know after you hang up what you're like, my friend.
I think honestly, before I built the staff the way they were, I was under more pressure smaller and more on my own than I am now.
Gotcha.
Doing everything on my own was too much. And it took a lot for me to step out and, you know, get people to trust people, I should say, to run with it. Now I feel like I just kind of guide the directors and I just stand out of their way and let them run with it.
It's amazing.
It
I have a
is.
closing question, if you don't mind.
Go for it, Laura.
So you've built this amazing business, but looking back and also speaking to the younger studio owners that are listening right now, what is something that you would have told your younger self to help prepare you to get to where you are today?
Don't do it.
Right.
Okay, that would have been my first comment, but I thought that might be a little improper. Oh my goodness. No, I feel like if I knew now what if I knew back then what I knew now, I would be a little stronger. I would have I would be a lot more organized than I was back then. Back then, like I said, I kind of started by accident. I never had this dream of having a big studio. And then once my daughters started getting more involved, I just thought, well, I'll keep going to the next step because once they graduate from college, they're going to need something to fall back on. And this is what they love. So I'm going to keep going with it for them. And so I honestly feel like I could have been a lot stronger, more organized, and more intentional with building of the business at a younger age. But at the same point, I feel like the way I did it made me learn a lot more on what to do and what not to do. So I don't know if it would be the same outcome if I would have been at a different place in my life back then. So I'm really not sure that other than I really could have been more intentional and more organized looking back.
Because I feel like now I'm sure your systems and processes are top notch and tight. They have to be with the amount of employees and students that you have. There's no room for wiggle room. You can't. They're just you're too
Right.
big.
We are actually working really hard on getting those even better, considering, the big move, the change, the bigger space, more students. So that's another thing. We're doing our weekend retreat to kind of just get everything back in line with where they need to be.
And can I just say, I love that you said you wanted to make sure your girls had something to fall back on. But for you to say that and to now have your fall back on be such an empire, that just like to me, just hearing you say that, I was like, oh, this was their fall back on.
Yeah.
Now you have almost 1,000 students. Like that is incredible. It's incredible.
Well, it's been a journey for sure, but it's been one that, we've enjoyed and working, side by side with my girls, building a business and all of us doing something we love. It makes a huge difference. Sometimes it's hard. And my daughter will tell me this all the time. Sometimes I just want a mom, not a boss. And that's the hardest thing for me.
Ooh, yes. That's another coffee talk right there.
Yes, that's been my biggest struggle. I can't, all these years, it's hard to get out of boss mode and turn into mom mode.
Yeah.
This was awesome, Vickie. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
You have a lot of fans out there wishing you the best. We'll have you back as you grow, as you hit your new goals, and be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Thank you, Miss Laura.
Oh, thank you for having me, and congratulations, Vickie, on all your success and more to come, I'm sure.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yep.
It was
Thank
great.
you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another coffee talk. Have a great day and enjoy the journey.